Knitworthy podcast, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks with your hosts, Brianne and Mama Linda. Find us on social media as BeingBrianne Stoneybrooke. Then y'all should come on over and join our Knitworthy podcast group on Ravelry. And now, it's time for another episode of Knitworthy.
Blast off! It's a very exciting episode of the Knitworthy podcast. Yeah. This is episode, what is it? Episode 37. And we are so excited that you're here with us today. I'm Brianne, and this is my gorgeous Mama Linda. And we are so excited that you are here, and we're going to have just a ton of fun.
Aren't we glad they came over today?
I am so glad. Welcome to our house.
I know, it's so great. Have some coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Settle in with your knitting.
Yes.
Let's
Definitely.
chat.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, tell me about what's going on in your knitting life.
In my knitting life, well, I've
your
been
career.
busy.
Didn't you say
in
that last time?
My knitting career.
In your knitting career. What's
My
going on?
illustrious knitting career. I've been busy this week, or these last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised when I sat down to do show notes just how busy I've been. I was very impressed with myself, actually.
Yeah, you're still standing and everything.
I am. So, yeah. Should we talk about what we're wearing?
Let's do that.
Okay.
That's part of our knitting career.
That is. I'm wearing my Norma Lintu, which I'm very proud to show off
Gorgeous.
for the very first time. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, so I'll talk about that when we get to what's off our needles.
Great.
And what are you wearing?
I'm back to wearing knitted socks.
Again.
Yes.
Okay.
And these are the socks you hate.
They are the socks I hate.
I'm going to show them to you like this.
Yes. So the reason why I hate these socks, it was yarn that Mom picked out. I've like blocked out from my brain the name of the yarn. All I know is that
I think we got it though at Luby U when they were in St. Louis.
I think so. But I don't want to remember which yarn it is.
It's still painful. I can't believe it.
It is. It has bamboo in it, and I don't really care for knitting with bamboo. And the yarn was really splitty, and it was just a nightmare to work with. And so I knocked out those socks as fast as I could and gave them to Mom, and she loves them.
I do.
They're a really simple vanilla sock with a picot cuff.
Super comfy.
Yeah.
And they go with everything.
Yes, they do.
I'm on to gray. I've got gray nail polish on today.
Yeah, you do.
And I asked hubby, I go, I painted my nails. He goes, It's like, why would you choose gray? And I'm like, why not?
Yeah, hello.
I'm trying to find my inner self. I'm just rediscovering who I am.
That's right.
That's what we do. Instead of wearing purple hat, I'm wearing gray nail polish.
And kind of a somewhat grayish shirt and gray socks, and
Yeah.
it's all right.
That's right. You know what? We should just be the person God made us to be.
That's right.
So I'm not going to dress like anybody else anymore, which really frustrates John. I'm not wearing it today. I took it off in honor of him because my mom gave Brianne her jewelry for me to hold on to for a little while. And so I was wearing her ring along with the ring that she gave me. This is her own wedding ring that she got for an anniversary. And so I wear it. And so I was wearing both rings on the same finger.
Yeah.
John, on the way to church on Sunday, says, would you please take that off?
Oh, no.
Could I hold that for you? And I go, why?
Yeah.
And yeah, it really bugged him.
Wow.
That people would see me wearing 2 rings. I'm thinking, of all the things he could be ashamed of, 2 rings is the least of his problems.
Right? Apparently he's gotten over the hair thing, so at least we're moving on.
At least we're moving on.
Yeah.
I thought he married the wrong person if he's worried about presentation, because I'm all over the place.
That's right. How funny is that?
Funny?
It is funny.
Yeah, but so far away from socks, I've strayed us already.
That's
so
okay.
We're going to keep on topic today, I'm sure.
Right. So let's see. I have a ton of things that I've worked on this week.
I'd just love to hear it.
Okay.
Start right now and show me. I'm going to sip on my coffee.
Oh, excellent. Well, okay. Well, I should say I've worked on a ton of things this week, and I have 3 finished objects this week.
Overachiever.
I totally am
Awesome.
overachieving this week in that area, but so I only really actually have 2 things to show you that I'm currently working on. So, the first thing that I've put some mileage on is
I like that. Mileage.
mileage.
That's what it feels like sometimes.
It does, yes. Is the vanilla bean socks.
Much higher, I guess, today we have to go.
Yes. Here we go.
So gorgeous. Now, those picots are really creating an interesting effect in that yarn, aren't they?
Yes.
They look like little decorative dots almost.
Yes.
I guess that it would be the effect,
It is the effect.
but it's really pretty.
So here's where I was. My little stitch marker here shows where I was last week. And so or 2 weeks ago. So I've put on all of this in the time being. And I'm going to do an afterthought heel. And so you can see right there is where I'm going to be putting in my heel. I had some people message me on Ravelry, thank you very much for doing that, to give me the suggestion of using the outside of the cake of yarn for doing my heel, which I thought was a really great idea because that would allow me to do basically any kind of heel I want. However, this is what the yarn looks like.
I suppose you could dig your finger into the middle and hope you don't get too much yarn barf.
Yeah. So, in any other sock, I probably would do that.
Which is a brilliant idea.
It is so smart.
Yeah.
Yes. Or I also had some people suggest that I use a contrast yarn, but I don't have really anything that I feel would go with this very well.
And you went fishing in my yarn stash. It's too bad we didn't even just have a plain cream. That would have been really pretty on this, just to give your eye a rest, or a gray. Or
right.
I probably used all of his.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sorry.
Just kidding. So anyways, I'm really loving this sock now. This is the vanilla bean socks. I don't have the name of who it is that designed them. However, we'll put them in show notes, which are at knitworthypodcast.com. So you can check them out there, or you can just search vanilla bean socks on Ravelry and find them pretty easily. The other thing that I have to show you is I have a sock head hat. Shocking! What? This is...
Did you happen to see what I put on Instagram
What?
about your sockhead hat?
No,
Is this, let me see. Oh, that's what you're working on.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll tell this one later when you come up with your finished objects.
Okay.
then.
Well, this is sock head hat number 6.
Oh, you're knitting those on small needles. You're not doing magic loop.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so what size needle is that?
This is a size 3, which is, I believe, what the pattern calls for. And I decided, you'll notice that I skipped over sock head hat number 5. Because I had sock head number hat 4 for reals. Because
I'm losing track
I had
of
to
the numbering.
restart, I know. And then in the last 2 weeks, I started and finished a sock head hat. So this is number 6. And seriously,
It's become your sock knitting, hasn't it?
it's kind of taken over my purse.
If I ever get through the sock that I started last year,
Yeah.
I'm doing a sock head hat.
Okay. I think you should.
Don't you think?
Definitely. So, I'm using leftovers for this. So it's
So
going to look like
pretty.
this. And this is just some leftover yarn from the Loopy Use Solid series. And this is Barking Dog yarns, I believe.
I meant to ask, how long is the cable you're using?
Oh, it's a 16-inch.
A 16-inch. And are you finding that comfortable to knit with?
Yes, I am. I wouldn't want to use anything, too much longer than that, just because I think I'd really have to spread out the stitches. And this lets me do the first couple of decrease rounds without having to change over to my double points.
So, did you do your other hats on this needle?
Yeah,
I'm still realizing it.
this is like my dedicated sock head hat needle.
So if I do a sock head, I'm going to want to do that because I just think that's the thing. I'm going to talk about hats later, and
Okay.
explain why that might be a good choice for me.
Yes, I'd love to hear it.
You know you will, whether you want to love it or not.
I would love to hear that.
That's what I always do. I show her, so they go, now, tell me you love it.
That's right.
I tell her what to say. So now.
It makes it easy.
Say you want to hear this.
I totally want to hear that.
Awesome.
It makes it easy when she scripts out my life for me.
Train up your children, and then you'll always be happy.
You know who does that?
Who?
Is Evan.
Does he?
Evan does that. He'll be playing with Owen and Ailish or me, and he'll say, okay, now say, what are you doing now, Kirby? And I'd be like, what are you doing now, Kirby? And he goes, no, say it like I did. What are you doing now, Kirby? Like, even inflection and tone he needs.
It's kind of like the movement where they do this documented life, but we're going to do this scripted life.
Exactly.
We just tell people exactly what you want to hear. Works out much better.
Makes it easy.
Sorry. Once again, dragged us way off track. You like those needles.
I like the needles.
You're using leftovers.
They're my Chowgoos and my leftover yarn. I just started this yesterday, and I did. I started it when I was over at your mom's house.
Ah.
Yeah. So this is, I will work until I'm done with my gray yarn, and then I'll switch over to this beautiful pinkish purple yarn. And I think this is going to be a gift for Evan's teacher. We met her on Monday. I got to meet her, Miss R. And so she was wearing all pink, and she had a pink purse, and she had pink things kind of scattered throughout the classroom. And so I was like, yes.
I would like to suggest that you use the transition you used on your stripy socks for transitioning the pink to the gray, so you get that little
that could be
accent.
Fun.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I will think about that.
Think about it, because
Yeah.
I think it would be a really fun little accent.
Definitely. Well, that's what I've been working on that I can show you in this segment. So why don't you show me what you've been working on?
Well, I've been working on so many things, and so I can't show you all of them. So today I decided to show you.
The selection, I like it. You know what it's like? It's like going to a vineyard, and they show, I've never been to a vineyard, but in my imagination, this is the way it is. Right. And they talk to you and decide, like, this is the kind of things that you like. Maybe you would like us to show you this selection of wines.
Exactly. Today.
Right,
for your
because
pleasure.
You can't taste all the wines that the vineyard has. I mean, let's face it, you'd be stumbling around drunk.
That's right.
And
they'd get bored and turn off the TV.
True. So why don't you show us your selection?
It's almost as a shame that I'm showing this, but I'm going to try and just act real happy about it, because how is it that I'm still working on this sock? Started last year.
But you know what I think? I think that you have brought it out so infrequently that everyone's like, oh, she's got a new sock!
No.
Yay!
I love the colors. There's nothing to not love about it.
It's fun.
It's just, I am going through a period of time where I'm less fond of working on the small needles. And I've not always been a huge sock knitter anyway. But I am like, I do like Don Wolf, from Wolf Farms, where I make my cuff as long, or not my cuff, the top part of my sock as long as the foot. So look how close I am.
You are super close.
I just need to, you know, what do they call it, bite the bullet and
power through
it. So that's my goal this next week, is to finish the rest of it, because this is sock number 2.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Finish that puppy.
But I think it's just, I don't know if it's the fact that you have to make 2 of something for some reason. I think it feels daunting to me. Even though I'm on number 2 and only have an inch left. So I decided I need to finish it so I can enjoy it. It's like a spring sock. I'll have it for next year.
Yeah, you will.
I'll probably just wear it anyway, because like I don't care about that kind of stuff. But anyway, and it's in my chicken soup designs bag, which maybe that's worth getting it out just for that darling bag, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What if can you find a reward for yourself for after you're done with it? Like, you know, I don't know, like find a really fun Netflix show or something, or on Hulu, or, you know, whatever, and then say, you know, after I'm done with the sock, or, you know, while I work on this sock, I get to watch this really fun thing.
That's a good idea.
Or, you know, after I'm done with this sock, I get to eat the whole chocolate cake.
Well, that would do it. Brianne, will you make me cookies when I finish it?
Sure.
She makes the best chocolate chip cookies.
I'll even burn a couple for you if you want.
Would you?
Yes.
Do they know I love burned food?
I don't think that we've ever brought this up.
Well, because the way I cook, I overcook everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned to like it that way. So now it's like when they burn something, I'm like, yes! Now I wouldn't say it's like, you know, charcoal briquettes kind of burned.
No.
But crispy edges, I'm all about.
Right.
There's got to be someone else out there. You eat cookie dough. Well, I don't mean like you eat a whole thing, like you taste the cookie dough when you make cookies.
Right.
But I'm all about burn it, baby.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Even toast.
Yeah.
Especially
Sometimes
toast.
it needs 1.5 times through the toaster to get it just right for me, depending
right.
on the bread.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to know any of this.
She's an aficionado of burned things.
And there is a fine line between really good and toasted and burned. And I know exactly what the line is.
She has surpassed that line sometimes.
Sometimes I have, set off the smoke detector even.
Oh, gosh.
For some of my toast.
Anything else you want to show us? The things you've been working on?
That's really what I've been working on. And the rest are things I've finished and
Awesome.
things I want to share that I think you might be interested in.
Yay! Well, why don't you show us the things that you've finished?
Okay. Well, I would say I have, over the last few weeks, month, I'll say,
Okay.
I decided, because I am not a big fan of the small needles, and because I like trying new things. What?
Surprise!
I decided to try some loom knitting, which I've talked about, but I don't think I showed you my looms. Now, I got these from Cindy Wood Crafts, who has a website called Premium Knitting Looms. Now, I didn't want to actually talk about them until I had a chance to use them more and really see what I felt about them. They are done on a wood. What you'll often see is the looms that are done, like the Nifty Knitter looms. Those are in plastic. They're very affordable. And these are done out of wood.
Okay.
And you can choose the color of your pegs.
Oh.
Right? There's a sales point right there.
So you got red. Shocking.
I know, right? I started out with the Preemie Hat loom, which I should have gotten, but it's like, you know, this big around in the middle if you were to look. And so I started doing my Preemie hats on it. Loved it. And one of the reasons why I decided to try it was because of not enjoying being on the small needles as much, and also because I feel like I need to vary my activities more. You know, at some points I knitted so much I hurt myself.
Right.
You know,
and that's not good.
No, a lot of repetitive activity is just hard on the joints, and I thought, you know, maybe I could just decide hats I'll do. I mean, like my charity hats, which is what I started it for. I could do on a loom. It would give me a break. And so the way it is knitting. And so don't let anyone tell you to be different. It's just all the stitches are held on these pegs.
Right.
And you are lifting the stitches with, I'm trying to see if I'm actually showing you. You're lifting the stitches with a pointed hook. And there are all different kinds of thick and thin hooks. I'm just using this one right now. And what you're doing is you're gonna loop around each of these pegs to start with, and you get a different color peg for the starting one, or on some of them they don't have them marked. I'm just gonna talk about these looms for now because this is what I have. And then this always marks the beginning of a row, and as you go around, you're just pulling, you have 2 stitches on each peg, and you pull the bottom stitch over the top and over the top of the peg. Now, people get very fast at this. I would say just as fast as knitting, but you know, if you're a really super fast knitter, probably not.
Okay.
But what people are liking is you definitely can get some really even knitting if you are a person that's tried knitting before and didn't have success with it, which is where a lot of people get into this because they tried knitting and they were frustrated with it.
I can see that.
And so that's one of the reasons. But I just enjoy having the variety. You know me, how much I enjoy having different things to do. So sometimes it's just nice to pull something else out and work in a different way. What I do like is, you may notice, you would know if you dropped a stitch here.
You would.
You never lose track of your stitches. Now, this particular one, I've done probably 20 hats on these round ones, and then I decided to try what they call a universal loom. And this particular one can do, you can do a panel where you are using both sides and creating like a double knitted piece, okay?
Yes.
And you're knitting, the yarn will travel back and forth between the pegs, and you create one panel, and they make them even longer, so you can do like a baby blanket or whatever, or you can do panels and seam them together to create blankets, which some people do. You can also start at the starting peg, which I'm gonna get on screen, sorry. And then you just knit around and come around to the back, and you get a panel that is double the length here. So I thought, here we go, it's 15-inch loom, so you'd get a 30-inch piece of knitting. Now, of course, that's going to squish in because this is a 1/2-inch spacing on the pegs, which is tight. This is a small spacing for a like a, not like a fingering weight loom, but this would do worsted weight yarns. What people do sometimes also is they'll get the ones that are pegs that are further apart, and they hold yarns doubled, which means you have less pegs to knit because you're making a chunky yarn out of it.
Right.
So this one can be used in many ways because of the design of this, but also because it has this nifty little wedge that you can put in at any point along here. Let's see if I can do it without blocking it with my fingers. Put that down. So you could make a baby hat. I have these marked on the back, but I won't. It's like when I'm holding it opposite. Let's try this way. So this right here is a child hat from here to here. Hard to believe.
But it does look rather large.
It does. This is the size hat it makes. We tried it on Evan and it fit him. Now the rest of it is the length that you're doing of the hat, the height of the hat. So if I were to cut it off at 8.5 inches, it would fit, or 8 inches, 8.5 inches goes from, they say, a size 1 for like a 1-year-old. And you can go up to 10 years old. You're just varying because of the stretch. You can show how much it stretches at the bottom. Stretch it really good. So you can see, I had it on my head and it fit.
Yes.
It's what I did was I grabbed a chart from Charity Knitting website so that I would know what size to make things. And I realized that the difference in hat height, like this is the child setting, and the adult setting's only this much more. And the height goes from 8 inches to 11 inches. Okay. So I don't know why I would think there'd be such a big difference, but there's really only 3 inches difference between something that fits a toddler and something that fits an adult.
That's kind of surprising.
It is, but you figure kids are born with big heads, so.
They are.
Anyway, you could also, people do like fingerless mittens on these. They're doing all the same knitting, I would say most of the same knitting that you're seeing on regular needles. Now, the thing is that it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to decreasing. So I'm not trying to do a full tutorial here, but I just want you to understand there is a wonderful place, I think, for loom knitting. And I want everybody to enjoy it. So this is the hat I made on the adjustable loom. I'm not really thrilled with it because I did a new stitch and there are places that you can see they're just a little funky. But I don't think it's funky enough that somebody's not going to wear it. But you can see how they finish. The tops of them is they just cinch it in here. Now there are ways to do some decreasing on it. You can decrease a little bit and then cinch it in, but if I was really going to want to finish this the way I like to finish, I'd probably slip it onto needles. But I'm saying that now with not being a really experienced loom knitter. There are people who do some really beautiful things on the looms. I crocheted the bottom edge of this because I wanted to see, I did a rolled brim because I didn't do a rib stitch, and I wanted to see how crocheting the end of it would be. So it actually looks adorable on Evan. I should take a picture on him.
That's a good idea.
To actually show what it looks like. But this is just something that I think is Ailish took onto it. I taught her how to loom knit on the preemie loom. On the smaller size looms, you can make booties, you can make the hats, you can make, she was making things for her dolls. So it might be a great way to introduce a child in the family to knitting who maybe isn't up to handling the 2 needles and all the stitches that might come off.
Yes.
This is a lot more forgiving.
Yeah.
And they get some instant gratification in the sense that if you're working on, I have one loom that's about this big, and so that's not too daunting for a kid to start with.
Right.
So she made some hats for her plushies, I think.
She did.
Yeah.
She's very proud of herself.
And I have just one more thing, but I'm tired of talking, so how about you tell us some things?
Okay. I will tell you what I finished. If I can, oh, there they are. Okay, so, well, first of all, I finished my Nurmalin 2.
Yay.
And I'll take it off. It is a beautiful, beautiful shawl. And you can kind of see the
gorgeous
the pattern there.
Very pretty.
And I made this out of Haverland yarn, and I love it. It was soft before, but it just really softened up even more after being washed and blocked. Too. It really is. And I did everything according to the pattern, including the picot bind off, and I'm really pleased with it.
It's not stiff at all. I mean, it's just, that has fantastic drape.
It does. So I'm
really... Oh, it's an asymmetrical.
Yes.
So it's side to side. Is that what you were doing?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Right. So the way you knit it is, you start down here, and you start, I think, with just a few stitches. I think like maybe 5 or 6 stitches. Could be even less than that. And you're increasing on one edge and decreasing on the other. So you end up with a shawl that is like a bias knit, basically.
Love it.
And I can see this becoming a favorite in my rotation for sure.
It's gorgeous.
It's really, and I can see myself knitting another one.
Oh, that's nice to know.
So I would really highly recommend that you check it out, and we'll link to it in the show notes so that you can see. It's kind of, an oddly spelled name for a shawl. It's a little hard to find, but it's finished for Little Bird, I believe.
Oh, cute.
Yes.
I love it.
One of the other things that I finished this week, or in the last 2 weeks, Sockhead hat number 5. This is for Ailish for Christmas, so it's kind of a smaller version of the Sockhead. She doesn't like folded over brims, so I didn't have to make it quite as long, which is why I have so much leftover yarn. But I want to show this off because I think the colors are amazing. This is Barking Dog yarns in the Achilles color, or Achilles base in the Oklahoma Rose colorway, and I really love it. It's a very soft pink, but with some purple tinges in it, and I think it's a really unique color. I haven't seen a colorway like this before.
Very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some, what would you call it, lavender?
Yes.
Highlights to it.
Really, I mean, but very subtle. Very. We're holding things down.
We are holding them under the screen, so we're like trying to look over.
Which one is it? What am I holding up now? That's a surprise.
This is the one when I opened up Instagram and I flipped through the pictures and I go, that woman is gorgeous. And all of a sudden I clued in, oh, that's my daughter. We were modeling that hat on Instagram.
Well, that was so sweet of you.
I thought, even though I don't know it's you, I think, what a gorgeous woman.
Thank you. That feels good.
I'm so in love with you.
Thank you. I'm in love with you too. I'm a sexy mama. So here you go. And you can go to barkingdogyarns.com to purchase her yarn. And the last thing, which I completely forgot about, thank goodness I had enough sense to put it in my podcasting bag, but I forgot that I finished my zigzagular socks.
Gorgeous.
I picked up my podcasting bag, which I keep in the other room. And I was like, why are these in here? And I forgot. I finished them like 2 days after.
Oh, how sad.
We finished podcasting. So
Yeah.
I almost, I took them off the sock blockers and I almost put them away. And then I realized, I don't know, that I said that I finished these.
Do you dry your socks on this particular style?
No, I don't. I use these just for modeling because, it looks fun.
Love those.
Yes.
They really turned out nicely. And you really clicked into the pattern eventually.
I
where you were able
finally
to,
did. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it takes
did.
some time to wrap your head around it.
Yeah, and this one for some reason took just a little bit longer. I don't know why, but I think, I'm kind of doing a little bit better as far as patterning goes. I was saying last time on the last episode how, my mind just is not necessarily in a patterny,
Right.
Kind of place where I need a lot of charts and I need a lot of, well, obviously I finished the normal into, so
Right.
I'm doing better.
Right.
But, some patterns just click a little bit easier, and this just was one that took me just a little bit longer than usual, so.
And there are some where I'll start them and I'm like, I'm never going to get this.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, partway through, it's like there's some revelation that happens. You go, oh, well, I'm only doing this, this, and this. Then you can do it from then on.
Yeah, well, that's not that hard.
What was I thinking?
Right.
So it's really just sometimes the frame of mind you're in that makes the difference.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And for me, it was just remembering at what point do I, you're moving your stitches every other row, and then on these sides where they're here just a little bit longer, you're there for 3 rounds. So it was just a matter of remembering, okay, am I moving this row or not? And so I just found a stitch marker and I would move it so that in a way that I would remember, okay, in this row I need to, move my stitch, and then in this row I don't.
This, I don't know, did you use a row counter?
I did not, no.
Okay. When I was watching all the loom knitting videos, there were girls that had one that they wore it on their finger, kind of like an eye watch, and they would click it with their thumb when they would get to the end of a row. And I thought, now that might be one that I might actually be able to use. When you hang them off your project, I forget to advance them.
Yes.
And so it actually is worn. They wear it like right here, so it's right accessible to their thumb. Anyway, have you ever seen one of those?
I've seen one similar to it. Diabolical is on Etsy, and she has them on her.
Does she? I'll have to go
on
look.
her store. Now, I'm not sure if it's a thumb one, but
I mean, it wears on your finger, and you can
Yes.
click it with your thumb.
yes,
So yeah, cool.
I think it's very similar.
I'll have to look, because I think that might be a good thing. That's really where I go wrong most of the time is I say, well, I'm going to make a mark on a paper or whatever, and I don't.
Yeah.
And so I have to end up counting, and I don't always count right.
1,
What a
2, 3, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Did you do any spinning?
I did. Do you remember the Fibrin Dye Works?
Yes.
The green, beautiful greenish teal. That's a BFL, and I have, I think, 200 yards, 215 yards, somewhere in there, of that colorway that's all spun up. And I want to make a stripy shawl,
Yes.
and so I have some white BFL
Oh,
that
good.
I'm spinning up that I'm going to do that. I had my very first experience, though, yesterday, which was like a very panicky moment where I I was spinning and I got really thin at one point, and it was already on my bobbin when it broke.
Oh.
And so I'm searching through my bobbin trying to find the end.
Sometimes it buries itself on the bobbin, doesn't it?
Yes, and it was so thin that I couldn't find it.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that I found the right strand. I think I did. And I dug it out, and I think I found the right one. And I'm like, well, I guess you'll
find out.
Exactly. We could have an interesting plying experience, another
Could
first
be.
there, but we'll see.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, the other fiber-related thing that I've been working on is, and you have to remind me the name of our wonderful
Bella
gifter.
socks.
Bella socks, of course. This was spun right round, rock lobster. This is the other part that I still have left to spin.
Beautiful.
Still think it's gorgeous. And I was aiming for a fingering weight. What do you think? Did I get it? I think I did.
I think you did.
Let's see if I can get a good shot for somebody here. I mean, I just love it.
That is so pretty,
I
Mom.
Navajo plied. I got over 400 yards for sure out of the 4 ounces. And I just love it. Let's try it all different ways, you know.
And now spinning in the air.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I love it. It just hung up to dry like 2 days ago. It's nice and dry now. I actually have hung some hooks. Like I have a coat rack with 4 hooks on it.
Okay.
That I have hung in my studio, and I have a little small fan about this big, and I have my yarn hanging on the hooks, and I have the fan below it, and it's gently blowing up on it. And that is how how many ways can I show this? But can you tell I love it?
Yes.
I just think it's gorgeous.
I'm imagining, in my head, I had that image of Marilyn Monroe.
It's exactly like Marilyn Monroe.
With the thing blowing up her dress. And she's like, ooh!
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. If you're looking for a drying setup, I've dried everywhere, in the bathroom and all sorts of places.
What
but
about
I
in the
decided,
car?
Yes, actually, I've been known to hang yarn out the window.
No, you have not.
I did. I was spinning on a trip one time and washed it out in the gas station bathroom, and I put it out the window.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, I love it. So I'll spin the rest, and I'm not sure. Part of me thinks that I should make something gorgeous out of it, and part of me thinks it should be a prize or a gift. I just don't know. We'll decide later. One more shot, because I know you'd want to see how gorgeous it is. I tried for a little bit more twist than I normally give. Can you see?
Yes.
And so, it's not, it's still balanced,
Right.
but it's got a nice lot of twist to it. Let's see if I can show them.
And this says it's a Polworth Tessa Silk 8515 blend.
So I'm happy with the amount of twist. I think it's going to show if I do a stitch, which I probably won't, but if I did a stitch definition, it would show it. But I really wanted to learn, every time I think I'm putting enough twist in something, I find I'm not. So that is mostly all of the knitting related stuff. I have other fiber related things, but it's more about like things that I purchased and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So
Well, let's move on to Gilding the Lily then.
let's do that.
Okay.
So do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
I pre-ordered
What?
something from Diabolical, which is how I know that she has, which is how I knew that she had the little row counter things in her store, the finger row counters. This is the universal sign for finger
universal.
row counters.
Yes.
Or change the channel.
Yeah, that's when I can't find the remote. You do this.
So this came in just yesterday, and I didn't show you
What?
on purpose because
How
I
dare
wanted you
you.
to see.
You want the reaction? Oh my goodness.
Isn't that beautiful?
Of course, which gets me right away. Look at the grays incorporated with those beautiful greens.
Uh-huh.
Oh my word.
Yes. So she's based out of St. Louis.
No way. Oh, yes. I purchased from her, haven't I?
I don't know.
If not, I should have.
Why haven't you? This is the Sturdy sock base, which is a 75% superwash wool,
so
25% nylon, in the Thunder Boom colorway. 432 yards. Hello, my pretty. I don't even think that this is going to make it into my bin.
You should use that as a giveaway.
Actually.
What?
Actually.
Huh.
She, I sent her a note and just said, I can't wait to get this yarn and talk about it on the podcast. And she said that if I like it, she would be happy to send us a skein to use as a giveaway.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be fabulous, wouldn't it?
Yes. So I think that was very generous.
If I had my knitting needles, I'd be doing this right now.
Hello. Yes. So I am so excited. I don't know. I think these are just going to be a pair of socks because I think if you feel the yarn, it's a good sturdy yarn. It is a really good sturdy
yarn.
yarn.
But not like harsh in any way.
No, not at all.
It just feels like it'll stand up to wear.
Yes.
And who wouldn't want to have this on your foot?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I haven't shown it to Brian because I'm pretty sure he would say, oh, those are for me, right?
Yeah.
But these are for me.
I love it. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. It's got all the great greens in it.
Yes. And I think it needs to be just a plain vanilla sock so it'll really show the beautiful colors and the beautiful dyeing job.
You know what you could do if you wanted to shake it up a bit? Mm-hmm. You could ask her to dye you some of this thunder color as for socks, for heels.
That's true. That's true.
She does that.
I bet
you gotta hold it up or else
I know.
It's just me that gets to enjoy it.
Look at how pretty that is.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And
that's a lighter part of it. There are darker parts too.
There are. Here's the other side.
Gorgeous. But you see how that gray color would be a gorgeous accent for it.
It really would. Would you mind sticking that back up for me?
I don't mind at all.
Why, thank you. So that was what I purchased 3 weeks ago. That came in today because it was a pre-order. The other thing is I have been inspired by Mama Linda.
What?
Yes. And
now wait, are we into non-knitting things?
Well,
because I want to do a fancy transition into our non-knitting part of the podcast.
Okay, well, do you have knitting things still?
I think I'm done.
You think you're done?
I have things that could be used for both.
Okay. All right. And now it's time for the fancy non-knitting breakup
bonus material.
Yes.
If you only wanted knitting, we'd like to say thanks for joining us. But if you want the rest of the stuff, stay tuned.
That's right.
We gotta have a better transition than that.
We really do, like fanfare or something.
Yes.
I don't know.
So I'll do my fancy magic right there.
Okay. Insert fancy magic here.
All right. What bonus material did you bring for us today, Brianne?
I forgot it upstairs.
Do you want to go get it? I could share a few of my things.
Yes, I do. Okay, so stay right here. I'll be right back because I really want to show you what I found.
Yes, good things. Okay. Which, of course, means I've got you all to myself.
Don't say any things about me behind my back.
Of course I won't. Some of you may remember last week I talked about my love for Studio O journals. They have been my go-to journal each year. I have a new one, and they've taken various forms over the years as far as what they are used for. But it's pretty much what I like to have with me to record things I want to remember and fun thoughts I have and ideas and things like that. Well, I was going to order my replacement because I was very prolific this year and accidentally ordered the compact size. And I don't have the original size with me, but this is the small version, which, if you can see in comparison to my hand, very compact. They have such cute covers. There is nothing like a dream to create a future, which is a Victor Hugo quote. These are the journals I was talking about that have a canvas front. They're hard. And they're called deconstructed because the binding actually shows. They open flat. And so they're good if you want to draw or sketch in them. They do have lines. But what I thought was, I decided that since I accidentally ordered this, I'm going to keep it in my purse. And it has the elastic around it. I'm going to get this yet. It has the elastic around it so that you can keep the pages closed. And I really love that. And what I decided was that if something is worthy of the big journal, I can just, like I took some notes on Sunday, I can just cut down the binding here because it's sewn together, it won't fall apart. And I can washi tape those into my big journal. So I'm excited about this. You have to look because there's so many adorable colors. It's the Studio O Deconstructed Journal in the compact size. You'll know that they're the compact size because I think they are the only ones that actually have the elastic. BrianNe,
I have
your
returned.
turn.
That was perfect timing.
Thanks.
Okay, so I have kept a journal for many, many years. And
that was always a gift I gave you guys each Christmas,
yes.
usually, and then you picked it up on your own as
yes.
you got older.
And so this past weekend, I was on a really fun girls trip with my best friend Sarah, and we went up to St. Louis and we stayed in her in-laws house in St. Peter's and had such a fun time. And
you needed it.
it was desperately needed for both of us.
Yeah.
Both of us have special needs kids, and you know, it's just, you need time away sometimes, and
sometimes you need to not have to be on alert.
yes, at all times.
Yeah.
And so we were both kind of at that point where we're like, we need a break. And so it was something we had scheduled earlier in the summer, and it was just the perfect timing, you know, as we're both getting ready for school to start. So it was great.
Yay.
But while we were there, Sarah is into scrapbooking, and she's working on her daughter's first year baby book.
Oh, so this was a good fit.
It was.
You guys have some that interest to share now.
Yes. And so she wanted to go to Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and of course, who doesn't want to go into Hobby Lobby and Michael's? And while I was in Hobby Lobby, I found some washi tape,
which was a brand new discovery if you were with us last time.
yes,
Brand new to me.
brand new to Mom. And I found...
Did we talk about what you use washi tape for? For maybe there's somebody that's like me that you know, that doesn't know what washi tape is. What do you use it for?
I brought my journal along to show you.
Okay.
So,
and we did a little bit last time, but tell us how you are going to use your washi tape.
Well, I decided to use my washi tape in my journal. And so, for example, here's one. Brian took the kids to a baseball game while I was gone.
Cute.
And so I was able to, that's called a tip-in.
Yes.
I'm learning things.
Right.
And then here's, you know, separating a little section from my thankfulness, where I keep a thankful, like a gratitude list every day. And here was just, you know, basically just decorating the page.
It just makes it so happy to me.
Yes.
It does. You don't need scissors to cut it. It just tears.
Right.
In fact, people usually just prefer to tear it. Did you tear yours? Were you brave?
I just tore it.
I'm so proud.
Yeah. Here are some Evan quotes from the day that I thought were absolutely
That's a great
hilarious.
idea.
And so I did the washi tape around
hilarious.
it. Here's the one to his hairstylist. He walked over, Ailish got a haircut yesterday, and he walked over to the hairstylist and said, I apologize in advance for Ailish. She's obnoxious sometimes. And of course, Miss Amanda, who's cut Ailish's hair before, goes, Ailish is not obnoxious. And Evan goes, what can I say? She just is sometimes. So, and
He is quotable.
he is, sometimes he opens his mouth and I'm like, oh dear Jesus, please let it be something okay.
I also have been using washi tape like a Post-it note, in the sense that if I need to stabilize something or I want to tack something up or whatever, it could be utilitarian. It doesn't have to be just for decoration either.
Right.
And I know that some people are using it to mark the edge of a page they want to go back to. You can flag things by folding it in half and making a tab. And it's so handy. I think I'm going to get like a little stash for my purse because,
Here's one where I just tacked in a page of the kids over at your mom's house.
Yeah.
At Peepa's house. And so, just using it as it's beautiful, but it's also useful. So the ones that I found at Hobby Lobby,
and it's a good practice for those of us that maybe are a little bit perfectionistic to say, I'm not going to create a scrapbook page. I'm just going to place this here. This tape is pretty enough.
Right.
And allow yourself just to be a little bit more free about how we do things instead of keeping a box full of things I'm going to do someday and I never do it because it has to be perfect.
Exactly.
So,
and that's where I tend to go is, I want everything to look perfect, and Mom did an exercise with me where she's like, now just smear this over here where you already did this one thing, and I'm like, I don't think I could do that.
I know, just do it messy.
That's right, and it was very difficult. But I found this adorable washi tape with the arrows.
And the arrows are really good if you have a planner and you want to draw attention to a particular day. You can just, tear off an arrow and highlight something.
And people are using these in calendars too.
Yes.
Which, you're right for mentioning.
Planners, you can use them to highlight a verse, a part of your pattern that you want to make note of. And of course you can use a pencil, but this is way more fun.
This is adorable.
And it's removable.
I found these adorable camera washi tapes. There we go.
Love it.
And I think that'd be really fun for putting in pictures in my journal or in wherever.
I think it's a good idea you put them on one of those open and close key ring rings for like a ring binder. What are those for?
I don't know.
I got some that they had just put on a cute length of ribbon, but it made it so they didn't bounce all around and and get lose one or whatever.
Well, those are the ones that I found at Hobby Lobby.
Okay.
But I found like the haul of washi tape at Michael's because look at this. All of these are washi tapes.
And I love that they all go together.
Yes.
So you could do just of course I would use all of them on one page even if I wanted to. But they're all just beautiful, color coordinated, and they're not just stuck in one color range.
Right.
But they would all look nice together.
Yes, they would. They're calling it washi crafting tape, and it's 13 of the individual ones, and they are 10 yards each. And this was $19.99, but I had a 40% off coupon, and so I was able to go ahead and use that on this. So it brought down my cost significantly.
Yes.
And I'm really excited. I've already used several of them, as you might have seen some of them in my journal. And they're just so much fun.
They do.
Go have Isaac help you with that.
They do just bring you so much joy.
Is this for me?
Oh, he brought his. Can you show what Evan brought?
Evan brought me an orange.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
He's being very sweet.
Yes, he is.
Do you know what he told me?
What?
It might be the first time I ever heard it. He told me, "I'm doing this because I love you."
Well, I'm treating
What?
my oranges.
I know.
It's a treat.
Thank you. Thank you, honey.
Very
I'm
nice.
treating my oranges for a treat.
Okay.
He's trading his orange for a treat. There may be other motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I have another orange and I'm getting it out.
Okay, sweetheart. Go back up the stairs and have Isaac help you peel it. So yes, washi tape. Okay.
Oh, one for me too! Yay!
Oh,
I got a
nice
clementine. We love
sweetheart.
clementines around here.
We do.
Mom, can I have a treat?
After we're done with the podcast, then you can have a treat.
Thank you,
All right.
sweetheart.
We'll
I'm
let
gonna
you.
get two. I think I'll get 3 oranges.
Okay. All right. We'll let you know when we're done with the podcast.
He carried his oranges in a little, a failed sock that I didn't have. I made 2 socks that didn't match. I didn't want to unravel it, so it was one from the little preemie hat thing. So it was a
Yeah.
booty sock.
Yeah.
So he wanted it made into a purse. So he has a
Perfect.
sock purse.
Why not? All right. So that's my washi tape.
Love it.
So use the coupon
yes,
to get it for 40% off, because even better than $19.99 is paying 40% less. Don't make me do math.
$9.50 say with tax and stuff. You'd
Oh,
probably
yeah.
need more, but so $10 and you get 52 washi tapes. Not really. I just thought while she's talking that I would share my journaling Bible. And what's new this week? This is the Crossway. Let's see what it is. It's called a journaling Bible. And I think, did I show it last time? I might have.
You showed some pages from it.
Yeah, but I wanted to show the new thing is that a friend on Facebook, well, I call her my friend because I just made her be my friend. She created this. My soul hangs on your every word. But she has one of those fancy machines that cuts these. And so I just got that. And then the washi tapes, I decorated the bottom. And with washi tapes, because they're not permanent, I can just change these out whenever I want. I went ahead and wrapped it around the outside. It just made me happy. And so when I get tired of the washi tapes, I peel them up and nothing's harmed. And I love that. So that's another thing. You could take a favorite book, your own journal. Like say you have a journal that you don't want to trade out. You can just use the washi tapes to decorate it. The other thing, oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I wanted to share is I've been, and this is not a new thing too, but composition books, super cheap this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And I had John go pick up 10 more for me. So I have 20 composition books.
Oh, my goodness.
Because I want to use them for gifts this year. And I know that some of you probably have them, use them in school for writing, but they're at only 50 cents. If you go onto YouTube and look up the term altered composition book, you will see some amazing things that people are doing with these. I showed you yesterday, did I not?
You did.
I would suggest you start with a lady called May May
Made it.
May made it.
May.
She does so many fun paper-related projects. And she did a gift composition book that someone could use for a journal. And she did such a beautiful job just using paper and glue.
Yes.
And, this totally goes back to my love for office supplies.
Basically.
And so anything that allows me to use office supplies, she recovered it and recreated it into such a beautiful way. I'm going to add a screenshot here of the outside of hers, just to lure you to go check it out. And while you can, because later, I looked on Amazon, probably like in January, a composition book was like $9 at that time. It was ridiculous.
Seriously? For one?
I just think that someone was being ridiculous. You know how they do sometimes? They have crazy prices on Amazon. It wasn't an Amazon, thing. It was purchased. It was a listing by someone else. But anyway, get them while you can, though, because when you start looking on YouTube, you are going to get so excited about all the things you can do with a composition book. And I thought, what's the worst? I've got notepads for the next few years. I just take phone messages in it for whatever. But I also thought it'd be such a great knitting journal.
Yes.
Ravelry is where everybody spends a lot of time. But the last time I posted something, I think Noah was still in the Ark. And so some of us just don't always get around to the digital posting, but it's kind of fun just to jot down what you did and to keep it all in one place. And, and maybe you could put pictures in it. They're using it for all sorts of things.
Of course.
That's a fun thing. And my next item is I have, how things just snowball for me.
Yes.
So drawing illustrations in my Bible has led me to drawing everything. And my dad could draw.
Yes.
And he did beautiful pen and ink drawings, but never pursued it past high school. And we always thought someday we were going to try and lure him into it. We'd give him some art supplies, but he was just always so busy in the work world that it never sounded like a good idea to do it. But I wish he would have.
Right.
Because I think it would have really brought him joy. So I picked up, this was a micron pen, which people use for outlining things. And the reason why we like it is because it won't bleed.
Right.
Okay, and it comes in all different tips. A tip looks like this.
So different sizes.
Yes, I can't really show it very well. It is, yeah, there we go. Thank you, Bree. And this one in particular is an 08, and so that's a bigger tip. And then I discovered, I've always liked Tim Holtz products. He makes distress inks and things. His colors are just, they speak to me.
Yes.
So this is a Tim Holtz marker, a distress marker. They come in the same colors as his inks. They are water-based inks. Can you put your hand behind again? They have 2 tips. There are many brands of these kinds of markers. What's the name of the most famous one? I'm gonna forget. I think it starts with a C. And they have a brush tip. So there are markers, the 2-sided markers like this, that have a firm rounded nib, but this operates more like a brush. Tombow makes one. I think it's not, I'm saying Chroma, but that's not it. There's a name that's kind of like C. I'll put it in here. Copic.
Okay.
Copic markers, they are the professional ones. They're very expensive. I'm just collecting these a few at a time. And of course, I started with 2 markers. A red, such a shock, and a goldy green kind of a color. And what you can do is you can outline with this, and then you put a little bit, you know, like the areas where you're going to want some color. You're going to put some brush strokes in. Then, oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this. This is a water brush, they call it. So you just put this under the water in your faucet, and you squeeze it together and let it go so it sucks the water in here, and then it doesn't come out unless you squeeze it again. And it's got this nice fine tip. Yeah, I'm going to show it. This has got some color on it because I was just using it yesterday, but there is a bigger one that's a broad tip. I don't have that one, I just have this one. So you can take water with you. So you can take these things and you could go out and just do like one of those, I mean, wouldn't it be fun to take your knitting and a few markers and some paper, go to someplace beautiful, knit a while, sketch a while,
Go and be free.
Go and be free.
Yes.
And you can't, you know, it just is a different way of expressing yourself. And it is a fun way to play with colors. And I think even if you don't want, you feel like, well, I can't draw and I don't want to do this, it is a great way to learn what colors do I like together. You can try them out. And it's a really fun thing, and they just flow beautifully. The thing is with when you're using water on paper, you need a sturdier paper. Otherwise, if you use it on copy paper, it'll work, but the paper's going to work.
Right.
So that's the other thing. And then I believe I showed you these last time. Because I only have 2 colors of markers, I got these $5 paints on Amazon, which I showed you before, and I've used them even more, as you can see. But you know, you have for $5, this is also a good way to start too.
It's a great deal.
But I've been combining them. I'm going to be at the end of the show, I'll show you a few of the things that I've done in my quest to love on my mama, which is trying to send her postcards. I'm trying to do it like every other day. Whenever Bree goes, I have her take a postcard, because she asked me to write her what I remember about her. And she has dementia, and so I think she just wanted to reconnect with those things, and she wanted to see, did I make a difference in your life, I think. So I have been doing postcards, and this is my most recent postcard for her, and I just started looking up pictures on the internet, and then I try and draw them. And I used a little bit, do you see there's a little bit of a golden hue on the green there? This is done with, by the way, with all the things I showed you just now. And then the green is this thing called Inca Gold. And it's like a paste, kind of.
Oh my goodness.
And it just has this luscious color. and it's hard to see the gold in this light, but you can use your finger or a brush and just rub a little on to whatever project you're working on, and actually it'd be a really fun, even if you were just putting a family photo onto a card that you buy at Michael's, you know, like the empty cards, and just brushed a little bit of the Inca gold, and it comes in like pewter and like probably 5 or 6 different colors I've seen, and brushed a little bit of that on the background. You'd look like you had done a professional card. So those are such fun projects.
You could save a step and just put it on your face before you get your pictures taken.
Perfect. What color would I choose? Red. That's what I would do. And one last thing.
Okay.
Okay, I know we still have our contest to do.
Yes.
So I'll do this really quick. I just had to say, I forgot to, because I was using this already, but Sherry Knits, she sometimes comes down to Branson to visit.
She does.
And so we've connected with her a couple times when she's come down, and super nice lady. And she is very gifted in knitting too.
Yes, she is.
We've seen some amazing things she has done.
Yes.
Yes.
Like amazing ski sweaters and...
Yeah. I think she could knit a house cozy and it would be so gorgeous, and she'd do it in a weekend. She's amazing. But she also is great at sewing. And so at the last time we got together, look at this adorable bag.
So cute.
Yes, I love it. And I'm using it right now. It's got a cute coordinating lining. I'm using it for the stamps, like my rounder I've shared before. I'm using it for cutters. And I put all of my art supplies now, they will fit in a Vera Bradley bag, the one I usually use for travel, but that way I can put things away sometimes.
Yeah.
They're all out right now, but I can put them away, and then I can take them with me if I decide I wanted to go somewhere and work with them.
Sure.
Which, you know, once you've gotten used to being a knitter and you take stuff with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
I take now knitting and art supplies. I'm gonna need a bigger purse. Now I wanted to show you the larger size that I got, which is, can you hold this one up, sweetie? The larger size that I got from her.
Surprisingly heavy.
I know, right? I also want to show you, can you show the bottom of the bag, how wide it is? I don't have measurements, but... And look at how adorable these look together. So it's very vintagey, this fabric, don't you think? Let's put them side by side. Look! And it holds so much. I may have asked for something else. Shh. Shh. Look at the adorable...
No judging. I'm just saying.
Don't judge. Look at the adorable pink inside. It's such a great combination of retro, kitschy, which is what I'm all about. And she does these fun little, just a string pull, but I find it quite handy.
Yes.
So that's, can you spell Sherry Knits so it gets right, done right?
CHERYKNITS. And you can find her there by that name on Ravelry and Instagram.
And right now I have a bunch of my papers and stuff that I use for crafting, and for my you know, your career in knitting.
Yes.
For my art.
Business?
No, just art. For my art. These are the little cards I've been using. There's one that's for postcards. This one's by Ranger. And this is for use with markers, ink stains, paints, and stuff. And these are just, I figure this is about as big of a canvas as I can handle right now. So, but I'm thinking that was always part of it when I've tried doing artsy kinds of things in the past and have a big old piece of paper. That's a little daunting. And so this is a little more doable for me.
Yeah.
So I start things as a doodle, and if I like it, I keep going.
Yeah.
So, yay, Sherry Knits. And her prices are very affordable.
Yes.
She's, has an Etsy shop. I'm not sure if it's stocked now, because she's one person trying to do a million things too.
Right.
So, let's see, how can we find her? She's
on
on Ravelry and on Instagram. So both of those venues.
Yep. Awesome. Well, let's talk about, we have 2 contests to talk about today.
Yes.
We're going to start with we decided to call it Comfort and Joy Craft Along. This is for the months of August and September. And, you know, it may be summer right now, but Christmas is coming, people.
Yes. Winter is coming.
That's right. And so we want to make sure that we are not frantically putting together things on Christmas Eve, not staying up until 4 o'clock in the morning trying to complete whatever it is that we are trying to complete. We want to try and get a head start on some of our gift giving, crafting.
If you want to be one of the people that gives handmade gifts, it's time, right?
It is. It's, you know, time to start planning and thinking and start some of the doing. And so we are opening this up to any craft.
Yes.
Not just knitting, not just crocheting or spinning or weaving or basket weaving. Any craft.
I'm going to be doing these.
Yes. That's perfect. So, you know, anything that you want to do, if you want to paint a mural for someone.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
That would be really cool.
Yes.
Then I think that you should do that.
I think all artistic endeavors add to your ability to knit and work with fiber better.
Yes.
The more you expand your world and discover.
Okay. Evan Jonathan.
Can you go tell Uncle Isaac that you need to play with him for a few more minutes?
But we're done.
Okay.
No, you're not done. He's done.
Watch this.
That's wonderful. Now it's time for you to go upstairs, and I'll tell you when we're done podcasting.
Yeah, and school starts next week.
Go on.
But where's the oranges that I gave you?
Mine's right here, and Dee has hers on her table.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mama did to catch your orange.
Okay.
It's all the way from there.
I don't think I can do that, but we'll see.
Yeah. School starts next week.
Yay!
I was looking at a Van Gogh painting that someone posted on Facebook, and just looking at the way he used color, and I thought, what a great base
Very
for a knitted
inspiring.
project.
Yes.
And so, just spread your wings, try things. Try a
Absolutely.
new fiber craft that you haven't done, or just craft something, whatever you think that you might like to give.
Absolutely. I don't think that we're expecting you necessarily to have to finish it.
No.
Because some projects are going to be bigger than others. And so, but we would like for you to please post pictures in the thread that we have going. It's the Comfort and Joy contest thread. And we have a chatter thread open for you to talk about what you're doing, to encourage other people, and
We're looking for ideas.
absolutely, please come in and talk, and we'll join you. We are going to be doing 2 prizes with this because it's, you know, a bigger contest. And I will show you our first prize is this from the first draft, Miss Lindy G, Lucky Lindy.
Wow, that's so pretty.
Isn't that beautiful?
Uh-huh.
And this is let's see.
Is this a donation?
This is a donation from Bella Socks, I believe.
Yeah.
And this is a Polworth called And I'm All Out of Bubblegum, which I think is hilarious. So here we go. So this will be the first prize that you are able to win. And the second prize is a yarn prize. We have a Simply Soft in this blue, and then this is Shepherd Classic 100% wool in this beautiful pink color, and one of Mama Linda's handy hearts that she made just for you. So this was also donated to us, though I'm so sorry, I am blanking on who gave it to us.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
And I'd like to add more prizes to it as I can.
Okay.
So I might add washi tape.
What?
One for, I don't know.
Okay.
We just have to add to it because it has to be, it's got to be fun stuff,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yes.
So
Some people use washi tape for gift wrapping.
oh, that'd be so much fun.
Wouldn't it?
Yes. So just make sure that you have pictures in the contest thread, and we'll use a random number generator to pick the winners. There'll be 2 of them for the 2 prizes, or
Are
more
they able
as we
to
come along.
post? How often can they post pictures? Can they post along the way? I'd like to see it full of stuff.
You can do 1 post per project, And then as you progress with your project, you can post more pictures in that same post. Just edit it to add the pictures, or to add, a picture of your finished project.
If it was me, I'd totally be post a million times, you get a million entries.
Yeah, I know.
She's rules. I'm not. I used to be all about rules. What happened to me?
I don't know. It's the new you.
Gray and no rules.
We also had our charity knit and craft along. And so our two winners, our first one was post number 51. And that is Jan Clay, who knit a blanket for a maternity center in Nicaragua.
Yay.
So, Miss Jan Clay, you are the winner of this bag from On the Dock Knits.
Fantastic.
Beautiful, which also has stitch markers.
On the Dock Knits, you rock.
Yes. And also, here we have these stitch markers, which are gorgeous. And Mom also included some of her really cute tags that she made. So she added those in there for you.
This lining is so pretty too.
It is.
And we talked about this before. This is has a very sturdy lining, so that it is. It feels like it would stand up on its own.
Yes.
But it's not harsh. It's beautiful.
It is. So. It is. So please get in contact with me, BeingBrianne, on Ravelry, so that you can claim your prize. And then the second winner is post number 9, who is B-Wing.
Oh, really?
Yes, she did a ton of stuff. And
she deserves to get something back.
She does. So she wins this, she knit a lot of preemie hats.
She hosts a charity group.
Yes, well then she deserves to get something.
She does.
For sure.
Good for her.
She gets this beautiful skein of, there we go. Angela Breeze in the Candied Apple colorway. This is 750 yards of 65% silk and 35% linen.
Love it.
So enjoy this.
It has a nice, it's not a solid color. It has a little bit of a washed look to it.
This is the same yarn, not the color, but the same yarn that I knit my featherweight out of. So you can knit something really amazing out of this. And you will also be getting some of those handmade gift tags from Mama Linda.
And I wanted to say also that the gift tags are on our website. I printed these out and got them ready to go, but anyone can print them out. And I saw on Instagram, we had a follower that did them for a party that she was doing.
Oh, how neat.
I know, it made me so happy.
Yay!
So, yeah, go ahead and feel free if you want to print out a tag for a knitted item and just do it. She colored hers in.
Perfect.
I was very impressed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd like to do more. I have more. I'm working. I'm trying to find something that's tag worthy.
Yes.
So.
Well, perfect.
Let's see. I did want to offer an excuse, an explanation. I am not super good at keeping up on Ravelry.
Okay.
And so I have lots of messages that are awaiting me. I don't want people to think I don't care.
Okay.
I have a tendency to get a little overwhelmed.
Yes.
And I look at it and it's like, every morning I have like 150 emails waiting. Now, most of them, as Brianne knows, are just junk mails because I've had my address forever. And I just find I get so overwhelmed. And so it's like, I try very hard to say, today I'm going to sit down and just clear all those out and talk with these people because you're all nice people. But it's just, for some reason, it's something I need to work through.
Okay.
I'm like that with the phone too. Try calling me on the phone. Am I likely to answer? That overwhelms me too. So I'm trying, these are all the things I'm trying to work on as I discover my new gray fingernail me. See if I can find my inner secretary that will actually handle business when it's time and not wait until it just no longer applies anymore.
Okay.
Congratulations on the birth of your child and their graduation from high school. So I'm sorry. I hope I haven't hurt your feelings or anything, because I'm like, that's not my intention. It's just my own personal foible that I'm really trying to work through, but for some reason it's very difficult for me. So stink. that's my transparency moment of, this is who I am, I'm real sorry.
Well, and if you have any pressing podcast needs, not that I know that there are any really pressing podcast needs, you can always message me. I'm more than happy to help you. But if you have something that's specifically for Mama Linda, then, send her a message.
Yes.
Yes.
And you'll poke me and make sure I actually
we'll work
get on there. And
we'll work on it together.
I know. It's like I'm a grown-up. I should be able to do this, but I don't know why.
It's okay.
Okay.
There is grace extended here.
Thank the Lord.
Yes.
Is there anything else? Are we done with our business for the day?
That's it.
Did we decide, do people like the new format of having more of the other stuff at the end, or did we have
think so.
Okay.
But we had people who said, please don't get rid of the chatter. That's part of what we love.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I guess there's not much of a chance we'll get rid of that.
Yeah.
I can't stop myself.
If you're looking for strictly knitting content and nothing else that involves our lives, like people coming downstairs offering oranges, sorry.
Everyone needs an orange in the middle of the podcast.
It's true. Well, thank you so much for coming and spending time with us. We had a good time. We hope that you had a good time too.
We did.
And we just want you to remember that until next time that we see you, that you are knitworthy. Bye.
And orange-worthy.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, y'all.